We need more feminine systems. We need to live and work in a society that honors our bodies as well as the masculine systems. I am so tired of the toxic work life when it comes to women. I felt called to speak about this. It's genuinely something that really irritates me. This world is not built for women. This corporate working life is not built for women, and it needs to be. Hello, welcome back. My name is Katerina, and I am the Oracle of the Sacred Descent. I guide you through your shadows, through your core wounds, to come out the other side as your healed, aligned, highest self. I use astrology and shadow work and feminine embodiment to encompass everything. I've got my coffee today. I don't normally show it, but this is my little glass cup. I got it from like one of those garden places. Really expensive, but it's beautiful, so I don't care. I want to talk about something that might be controversial, might trigger people, and I'm totally aware of that. But I am not going to silence myself to please others. I'm so done with like the hype of toxic work. It's not so much the work people have to work. We cannot avoid this life that was built for us. But when you're proud of the fact, especially when you're a woman and you're like, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I lifted this amount, I did this at work, I didn't sleep until midnight and then I woke up at 5 a.m. That is not healthy. And trust me when I say, at some point in your life, you probably will burn out. It happened to me. I was one of those people. I used to work out twice a day, morning and night. I used to do my work. I used to go to university. Then I would go out in the night and then I would come back, do the rest of my work, then wake up at 5 a.m., go to the gym, do my work, blah, blah, blah. It was a cycle. And I genuinely fell ill very, very quickly from that. And then after I fell ill, I was still trying to live that life. I was still trying to force myself into this wake up at 6 a.m., do your workout, work until like 6, 7 p.m. Sometimes, especially when I was freelance, I felt like I was missing out if I didn't do the work there and then. So if someone sent me an email to do a design project, I was doing it that evening. And I was waking up, not having my little morning routine, not doing anything, getting straight on my laptop and doing the work at 7 a.m. Why did I need to do that? Who knows? I didn't need to. They didn't send a deadline in terms of like it was tomorrow's the deadline. But I felt like I wasn't doing enough if I wasn't constantly working on it. If I didn't answer the email within a few hours, I felt like they were going to fire me. If I didn't do things to show I was worthy, um, I felt like I wasn't enough. And what I think is like, I'm living in a feminine body in a masculine world. And that is just the life that we have for however long, I don't know, until someone embodies more of a feminine energy in this world. But what I realized is I was totally working against my system. And I knew this in terms of like, cycle syncing and all those things that I was doing before I discovered astrology. However, astrology just made me realize actually it is integral to the way I work. It is integral to my existence is I will continue to be ill if I don't, in my sense, work with the moon. Like if I don't align myself with that energy, I will constantly be ill. And the signs of this were Saturn in my 12th house, Chiron in my 6th house, and Cancer ruling my 6th house. I knew like I needed more of a feminine system in my day-to-day life in order to be able to not only heal my body but work for however long I want to work in my life. I The reason nothing was really working out for me in terms of my work life is because I was going against my natural body, my natural, like what it actually wanted. Um, it was going against all of it. Once I saw that and once I kind of really understood, I was like, oh shit, I cannot keep doing this. I'm going to be ill for the rest of my life if I continue this. Not only because Chiron is in my sixth house and Chiron is the wounded healer, and sixth house is like health, daily life, like your routine, your service to others, and your service to yourself. But I have a wound there. I naturally have this like trauma response, if you will, within that space. So I've always felt like I have to do more, give more, be more, um, in order to feel worthy. But I have had this inner calling, which is Cancer, um, of like, I'm really intrigued by slow living. And obviously, that is a luxury, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it isn't. What I've realized is slow living doesn't mean like you have 3-4 hours in your morning. You could do that if you wanted to, but slow living is more like you wake up slowly, you don't rush, and 10% of the time you might be late. That's fine. You might rush, so you have to, but a lot of the time it's about creating systems for yourself that help you tap into your feminine more. Do you need to wake up a bit earlier if you have to leave the house at 7:30 in the morning? Do you need to wake up a bit earlier in order to have that feminine embodiment? It's not about structure, it's just about you. If you have a job where you need to be there at a certain time, how can you give yourself that feminine pleasure and that embodiment without, escaping reality? If you have bought my wealth rebirth and you have Saturn in the 12th, then I have like given you a whole huge pamphlet. Every house has it, but the Saturn in the 12th was my kind of like, I'm so sorry, but this potentially is not the nicest placement. It's a big, huge lesson and it's a beautiful lesson, but it's a lesson that you cannot see. And it kind of alters every house, um, because it's telling you to go inward, it's telling you to embrace solitude and to embrace spiritual structure. Um, but all the other parts of your life might be affected until you realize that. Not affected, but like lessons within those parts of your life. You might struggle to lose weight easily. You might struggle to hold on to a job or have financial instability. You might be ill. You might, have relationships, karmic relationships, because the 12th house is your subconscious. It's your wounds are there, your karma is there, your subconscious beliefs are there, as well as like your dreams and your mysticism. So those wounds will honestly, like, it's like your subconscious mind, it will affect most areas of your life. And then sixth house with Chiron in that, you will naturally want to serve others before you serve yourself. And that will lead to burnout, most likely. So, if you want to know about what is your natural rhythm, then look up your sixth house, see who rules that. If there are any signs in there, that also adds layers to it. But your rule of your sixth house will help you understand like how your daily life, how your routine might be, or what kind of things you need to embody. Maybe you have Aries ruling your sixth house. So that means you have more energy in your day to day. Maybe you do listen to your body, yes, but you might have more power days. So, like, it might be that you have more masculine power within your day. Maybe you wake up and you go straight into do a power workout. You know, for instance, if you have Taurus ruling your sixth house, you need that grounded start to the day. Take off your shoes, get your feet on the grass, meditate, do somatics, just like anything that basically helps ground you in your body is something that is Taurus energy. Also, luxury. Make yourself a beautiful breakfast. Turn on some music and spend like 20 minutes making a dinner. Like, use beautiful, like, smelling things. Taurus is all sensualities. If you have a silk robe, put that on and cook your dinner. It can be so simple, so tiny. It could be you pour your water in a wine glass because it makes you feel a bit bougie. Like, do that stuff if Taurus rules your sixth house, and you will just feel so good after a while. But you need to be consistent with it. And by consistent, I mean, even if you did that twice a week, that's fine. Honor the energy, and you'll find that just things move with ease more. And this is why I said it's all your own personalized chart. No one has the same routine. Yes, we need more feminine systems to honor our bodies. But if, like I said, if Capricorn rules your sixth house, you need structure, you need discipline. You thrive off that. And it helps you to live with a life with ease more. I just want to point, because I feel like someone would write, my body wants to sit on the sofa all day and watch TV. The more you step into alignment, the more easier it is to listen to your intuition and your body. You'll get to a point where you'll be like, I know this food doesn't make me feel good, so I'm not going to eat it as much. I know that if I don't move my body, I don't feel good, like I feel lethargic. And your higher self, your most aligned self, doesn't want that. So the more you kind of step into alignment, the more things become clearer for you, and it doesn't feel like you're constantly forcing yourself. The stars are your cheat sheet. So if you want to figure out what's the best way for you to start your morning, or what's the best way for you to move your body, look at your chart. It will help you so much. And there's a complexity here, because when I work with someone's personal chart to figure out their core wounds specifically for them, aspects are really big within that, obviously. So if, for instance, someone said on TikTok, like, move like your Mars sign, that's great. Definitely do more of that. However, if you've got a harsh aspect to your Mars sign, and say, for instance, your moon is squaring your Mars, it might be like emotional weight within that. You might carry an emotional weight, like physically and energetically, but you also might need like somatics within that. The aspects kind of bring more depth to your chart, obviously. So they are really important, and that's kind of what I work with on a one-on-one specific. If you want to learn more about your specific planets and you would like to tap into your magnetism, then the link is below for everything that I offer. I feel so grateful to be able to do this work, because if you watched my video about feeling stuck, that was quite a big one for me to film. And it was, I think I was wearing this top as well. Yeah, no, I was. I love this shirt. It's from ASOS. And it like goes like flared at the waist. So it looks very cute. Tangents. I always go on tangents. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.